guys, it's Becky with Design Bundles, and I am back today to bring you another great sublimation project. Today we are going to sublimate on a pillow cover. Of course, we're using a great design from Design Bundles, and let's go ahead and jump over. We're going to do this in Silhouette Studio, but remember that these concepts will apply with most of your designing software. So let's get started.
So here I am in Silhouette Studio, and I want to show you a couple things regarding printing, and I believe that these principles will carry across regardless what software you're printing from. But the first thing I want to do is I want to check my page setup panel. I've switched my machine to none, my cutting mat to none, and on my media size I've switched it to 13 by 19 because that's typically the size paper that I'm printing on. Now, that part is probably specific to Silhouette Studio. I did turn on my print border down here, but this part is something that you want to pay attention to. I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to Print. And with my printer selected, I'm going to go to Preferences. And then this is what you want to pay attention to. You want to make sure that you have the correct document size selected. You want to make sure you have the correct paper type selected. I print on premium presentation paper matte, and I get really good colors. I just leave the quality as standard, and then make sure that everything else looks correct. There is an option that you can select and have your images automatically mirrored. I do not have that turned on, but just know that that's an option that you can explore. So I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm just going to hit cancel because after I have those settings already set, I can come in here and open my design. So another really cool thing, I'm going to go to File and Merge. That's going to bring my image into the same workspace that I already have open. But what I want to show you is I grabbed this file as part of a bundle from Design Bundles. It's a really awesome sublimation bundle. I really urge you to go out and grab it if you haven't already. But it came with these 2 zipped files, and they can be a little overwhelming to find what you're looking for. So I went ahead and unzipped the files, and then down here at the bottom, you'll see that they have these PDF documents. This one in particular says Sublimation Craft Bundle Volume 1. That tells me everything that is in this folder. So I can just right click and choose Open. And what it's going to do is it's going to open me up this cheat sheet here, and it's going to tell me the file names of everything that's in this folder. So what I can do is I can keep scrolling because I know that the file's in here somewhere. And here it is, and it is called Farm Fresh Christmas Trees PNG. So once I'm back in my software, I can use my search panel and just search for Farm Fresh, and it brings that image straight into my search results. So I can double click and it will bring that right into my area here. Now, of course, I really love this image. I think it's super great. I do want to make it as big as I possibly can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here. This is a shortcut. Let me show you where this is actually at. If you open your transform panel, you have a scale icon right here. Okay, so with that selected, my lock is so that it stays proportionate. I'm going to choose my smallest measurement. So right here it says 10.987, and I'm going to increase that to 12.5. Maybe asking, Becky, you just said you can only print 13 inches wide. That's correct, but I'm going to rotate this. Okay, now with that rotated, I can use my align, that's the shortcut. Over here, also on my transform panel, I can select this and choose horizontal, and it will center that for me. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at. You see I have a little bit of room here. I can actually make it a little bit bigger if I want. So anyway, but just be careful when you're using PNG images because sometimes, just depending on the designer or what software they're using, PNG images can have like a lot of blank area around them. So, just actually look at your image after you size it. Now, I am going to flip horizontally because I do want my image to print in a mirrored format. That way, when I press it, it faces correctly. And then what I can do is I can just, well, first of all, let's talk about, I have a lot of empty space down here. So if that bothers you, and I mean, if you're a thrifty crafter like I am, it should bother you. But if that bothers you, then you can fill this in with whatever you want, especially when we're talking about Christmas crafting. If you have like any little ornaments or I in particular, a project I have planned is a little pocket t-shirt. You can fill up this empty space down here with whatever you want. Okay, and then we'll just separate it and that way you're not wasting the paper. So I'm going to go ahead and go to File and Print. Remember, I've already set up all my preferences. If you did not do that with me to begin with, you want to go ahead and do that now. And I'm just going to hit Print, and this will send the file over to print on my sublimation printer.
Okay, so let me show you what I have. This is my pillowcase. Love it. I've already put a fresh piece of butcher paper on the bottom. And I do have, this is some pressing pillows that I use because they do have seams around the outside, so I want to make sure that I get good even pressure. This sheet of butcher paper I'm actually going to feed through on the inside. So what that means is that it needs to fit on the inside. So I'm going to take my straight edge and I'm going to trim. Okay, and then I have already located the zipper. The zipper on this one is in the back side and it does not go edge to edge. So that means that I need to trim it this way also. Now you may be asking, Becky, why are you doing all this craziness? Well, that's because I have pressed pillows before and the inside has fused together. That doesn't mean that I wasn't able to get it apart, but it certainly was a pain in the neck and I'd rather avoid that by doing this first. So just throwing that out there. I've also had that experience with some types of tote bags. So just FYI, tote bags, certain makeup bags, anything where they can fuse together, it's better to go ahead and just give yourself a little barrier. So I'm going to fold mine like this, kind of roll it up. Here, I'll flip it over. You guys can see, so you can see better. And then I will unroll it once it's inside. It just helps. It's easier than trying to fit the whole thing in there at one time. Just roll it up and then kind of unroll it. You know, like you do sheet protectors, right? You kind of curve your paper a little bit. All right, so that is in there. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is use a lint roller. Well, that's what smart people do. I cannot find my lint roller, but I have packaging tape. So we are gonna make that happen. Basically, you wanna make sure you get off any lint or just stray pieces as best you can. Like I said, a lint roller works really well. I actually do not sublimate a lot of fabric, so I've got that lint roller around here somewhere. I just don't use it very often. Okay, now I'm going to cover it with a fresh sheet of butcher paper and I want to iron this out. I'm not gonna go super long. I just want to smooth out my pillow cover. There we go. Now here comes the fun part. This is my print. Isn't it pretty? And I'm gonna hit it with some repositionable adhesive spray and then align it. Did I flip this over? Yes, I did. Okay, I didn't want to be pressing on the back. Align it in the middle as best you can. Okay. Bring this back over. Then I will just start from the top. Now, my easy press is not big enough to sublimate this whole design at one time. So I will do the top and then I will do the bottom. You see that pretty design already? All right, let's see. I'm gonna pull it very carefully. I don't wanna cause any ghosting. Ooh, look how pretty that is, you guys. Oh, I love it, I love it. I think my reds matched up quite perfectly. And then of course I can take the inside paper out. And now I'm free to put the insert in. So what do you think? I personally love it. I think this is going to be the perfect addition to my Christmas decor. And if I do say so myself, if I was into selling, I think these would be a really big seller in my marketplace. I mean, really the past couple years, people just cannot get enough of the buffalo plaid. And you throw ruffles and a red truck into that, it's just the perfect mix. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. And of course, if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the comments. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel because we always have a lot of really fun ideas for you. And that's all I have for you today. So thanks for stopping by. We will see you next time.